Hi everyone, my name is Miss Carly. I'm going to be your art teacher for summer school. So I'm going to be doing video lessons every week, and your teacher will post them to your classroom platform to follow along with. Some of you I've probably had during the school year, so welcome back to you guys, and for those I don't know, it is nice to meet you and I hope you enjoy some of these lessons. So an art kit should have come home to you in the mail. If you haven't gotten it, it should be coming very, very soon. And that has all the supplies that you can use for art projects for the summer. There's crayons, colored pencils, markers, paper, glue sticks, I believe, and a tray of watercolors are in there. So those you can use for art lessons. I wasn't sure completely if those got home to you guys yet, so I tried to be very minimal with the supplies needed for today's art lesson, just to make sure it's stuff that you may have at home. So the theme for this week is A New Adventure Begins. So I'm going to try and base my art lessons on the themes each week too. So for the New Adventure Begins theme, what I want you guys to do is go on an adventure outside and do a little scavenger hunting. I would like you to find some leaves, and you could do flower petals too if they're big enough. You don't want anything that's too teeny tiny, or else that's going to be really hard to work with for this project. So you want them bigger so you can draw, but you don't want them to go off your page. That would be too huge. So go on a scavenger hunt outside, gather up some leaves, flower petals, bring those back in, and we can get started. So this is kind of the format that I will do videos. I will, excuse me, I'll do an introduction of the project, and then I'll turn the camera down so you guys can watch what I'm doing and watch the project. So I'll do it that way. So what I'm going to have you guys do today, we are going to work on our drawing skills. So the leaves and the flower petals that you guys gathered outside, you are going to try and recreate. So here is how you are going to do it. So you need a piece of paper, piece of white paper. You need a glue stick. If you have white glue, that would be fine. If you don't have either of those and have Scotch tape, that would be fine too. You need some scissors, a pencil, your leaves and flower petals that you gathered, and then something to color with. My preference for this project is crayons or colored pencils, but if you don't have either of those, markers would be fine too. That would be fine as well. So what you're going to do, if you look at your leaves, they typically have veins that run down the middle or close to the middle. What I want you to do is take your scissors and I want you to cut on that vein as close as you can get. So you're basically going to be cutting your leaf in half. And you're going to do that to all your leaves. If you have flower petals, they probably don't necessarily have a vein down the middle, so you can just cut that in half. And then you're going to take your glue stick. My suggestion, because leaves can be very fragile and very delicate, if you were to put glue on this and press too hard, you might tear it. So my suggestion is to figure out where you want this on your page, kind of get an idea. Then you can pull it off and put some glue down. Glue sticks typically dry clear, so it will be fine. If you are doing white glue, you can put the white glue right on the back of your leaf. That's fine, because you're not gonna rub too hard with that or tear. You can just do dots. And press your leaf down, just like that. So you have half a leaf. And then you can do the same thing with the other leaf. Figure out where you want that to go. Now some leaves, this will work perfect. I can show you the difference. Some leaves are flat and lay nicely on the paper, like my first one. That worked out perfect. Some leaves are not so flat, like this one. It has a curl to the edge. So what you do is, don't worry about your edge. You press down in the middle. and don't worry about the curl on the edge. So if you can see, see how it's kind of curled up? It's fine. It's pressed down in the middle. That's what we need. Now here is the challenge. This is what I want you guys to work on, is drawing the other half of the leaf and coloring it in and trying making it match this half of the leaf on your page. I know you guys can do this. You guys are very creative and have awesome drawing skills. So you're going to use your pencil and try your best to get the same shape of the leaf. I always say do things in pencil first. You can always erase pencil. You can't really erase marker or crayon. So get your outside shape. I'm just going to do both of mine while I have my pencil out. It's not supposed to be perfect. This is a practice. This is working on a skill. We don't need things to be perfect. That's why we're doing these. So you do the other side. Now if you want, if you're like me, I like to plan things out. So you can look close at your leaf and notice where the veins are. And you're going to have to do the other side of the vein. So you can draw those in with pencil. You're going to go over them with color, but at least you can see where they are. And these veins are different. We're using observation when we do this, which is another skill that you need when you are working on art, especially drawing, is drawing what you are seeing. So you really need to pay attention to what you're seeing. So which direction do the veins go? Do they curve? Are they straight? That's what you need to look at. And then once you get it the way you like it, then you can come back in with whatever you're choosing to color with. Now the reason I said crayons or colored pencils is because typically with crayons and colored pencils, you have more than one shade of a color. So like instead of just having one green, you may have a couple different greens. Instead of having one blue, you have a couple different shades of blue. So it works a little bit better for this type of thing. But again, if you don't, it's not a big deal. What I want you to work on is drawing what you observe. So looking at the one side of the leaf and trying to draw the other side to match. Whatever colors that comes out in, that doesn't matter. I just want you to practice working on that skill. So then what you can do is come in with your whatever you're going to color with and add color to it. The other nice thing with crayons and colored pencils is that you can layer colors. So that means you can put one color down and draw color with another one on top to get the shade you're looking for. So you can make something darker or a certain color. So I'm looking at this leaf that I'm working on and it's dark green, but the veins are not green. The veins are more yellow. So I'm going to use my yellow crayon and go over my lines for the veins and make those yellow because that is the color that I'm seeing. And then I can go in with the greens and layer a couple different greens to make it match. Now again, it does not have to be exact. If you're noticing, my crayons don't really have this shade of green. So I'm doing my best to make it. But what I really want you to work on is just look at what you're seeing and draw it. So like if I skipped over to this leaf, if you look at this one, these veins don't go straight out to the side. They follow the shape of the leaf. And they are a light green, so I'm going to use light green and I'm going to try and mimic those veins with the light green. And they follow the shape of the leaf. Now if this is your first time doing something like this, it's probably going to, the end product is going to look a little strange. That's okay. I just want you to focus working on observation drawing. So look at what you have here and trying to mimic it over here. Flower petals I didn't gather any flower petals. Mine were all way too tiny in my yard. Flower petals, you would do the same thing. Instead of looking at veins and lines, you might look at the shades and the colors of the flower petals and try and mimic those. So don't stress too much if this doesn't come out the way you think it should. It's just a practice. It's just working on our drawing skills. So have fun with it. Don't get too upset if it doesn't work. I'd love to see pictures, so if you want to post some on your classroom platform, that would be awesome. And I will see you next week with next week's art lesson. Have a good day, guys. Have fun. Be creative.